Hello my veggie foodies, welcome back to Veggie Me Please. For those who have not visited my channel, welcome to my channel Veggie Me Please. Here we try to be your hub for all things plant-based, whether it's new products, us trying them, telling you the best places to eat in every state, and then also sprinkle with a few recipes here and there. I hope you can stay a while and hopefully you subscribe as well. Today we are back again as promised for a review of episode 2 of It's CompliPlated, which is Tabitha Brown's new plant-based show, or all-around picky eater show on Food Network.
Big on the picky.
Yes, picky eater.
Before we get started, we read the comments, we got text messages.
We did.
Remember that this is a review. So that means that we're hoping that you watch the episode and then come and check out what we thought about it. All right, so that's why you don't get as much like video clips, all this stuff like that. I love me some B-roll, but you know, we don't want to get in trouble.
Right. So another disclaimer before I get started. I guess I wouldn't say disclaimer, it's a correction. So first I would like to apologize to Chef Manit Chauhan. I wrote it down so I wouldn't mess up again. I was calling her Priyanka, Chef Priyanka, the whole entire last review episode, and that was my bad. Chef Priyanka is actually another vegan chef, which is awesome. She probably would have been another great addition to this show, but Chef Priyanka is not on this show currently. So I apologize. It is Chef Manit Chauhan, not Chef Priyanka, who is also a vegan chef. So my bad, guys. So anyway, let's just get right into the episode after we did all those disclaimers. Anywho, so this is episode 2 of It's CompliPlated. The theme or the title of this episode was mood food. So the focus was like comfort food. So if you could kind of keep that in mind as the episode goes along. So our first judge, I don't think it was too bad. I was telling Corrigan, I think they got a little easier this episode than the first. So yeah. The first judge, their only dietary restriction was gluten-free. So no gluten for her, but she is Italian and she loves noodles or pasta dishes. Mm-hmm. So the challenge for that one was making some type of noodle dish. But it had to be gluten-free and, of course, plant-based for obvious reasons. So with all the chefs, there are 4 chefs starting out. I was super impressed by the way Chef Cat, I think they refer to it, he cut his zucchini noodles. So I was just very curious. Of course, there's different types of noodles. I've heard of zucchini noodles, but the only time I've used zucchini noodles was when I was making a raw dish. I've never... The only time I used zucchini noodles when I was making a raw dish, and but I was amazed. I used the spiraler on my KitchenAid. I wasn't fancy enough to chop them up. He like cut the outside layer, folded it, and then cut it, and they turned out beautiful. I was concerned about everyone's kind of dishes in the first round. I was like, oh no, like we're getting off on a kind of a rocky start, except one chef. Which, when you watch the episode, you'll probably see. Chef Ziki, she made a pasta fagioli? 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 I don't know. Okay, whatever. Pasta fagioli, I'm trying. Her dish looked very good to me. Mm-hmm. The only thing is she did take a large risk with the noodles. So she tried, was it?
Something like with potatoes and flour.
Which flour did she use? She used some sort of flour and something else if she tried to make fresh noodles. They didn't come out thin. She kind of rolled them with her hand, and they kind of came out a little thick. And of course, you only have 30 minutes, I think, for the first round.
Not that much time.
Yeah, and so not only were they not really forming into good like noodles, but then also they didn't really have time to cook down. So although it looked good, she took a risk, and the judges did comment on the noodles were a little underdone. Yeah. So the dish kind of turned into more of like a bean stew rather than a pasta fagioli.
Yeah, and she literally was working on it until literally the last probably minute or two. I know like they use movie magic, but it literally seemed like she was doing it at the last possible minute she can cook it. But yeah, she got it out. The judges at least like the flavors of it, so I think, overall that was the main thing that helped out in the situation.
Yes. So next is Chef Arturo. Arturo, he made butternut squash pasta a la Norma. I'm struggling with these names. Butternut squash pasta a la Norma. And if I'm butchering these things, I'm not doing it on purpose, okay?
Yeah,
I'm really not.
Yeah,
just let us know below. So he used squash to make noodles, which, I mean, of course, we're familiar with butternut squash or spaghetti squash, which you can roast spaghetti squash and kind of scrape it out, and it comes out like thin noodles. My guess is maybe he didn't have time to roast it and do that, because instead of using spaghetti squash and scraping it out, he used butternut squash and cut it into noodles.
Yeah, he was trying to use some type of machine, but it wasn't gutting out the way I guess he wanted it to.
It was more so gutting the squash instead of spiralizing it.
Yeah, so he had to pivot real quick.
I don't think he used the right attachment on his KitchenAid. It didn't look like it. But I may not have been seeing it right, but there's certain spiralizing attachments on your KitchenAid. Like, I know because, like I said, I use that for the zucchini. And I couldn't tell what attachment he used, but it didn't look like the right attachment to spiralize.
Let's just say gadgets wasn't on his side for this show.
They weren't.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. And also, he added eggplant to the sauce portion of his dish. And what I think Tabitha and maybe Chef Chohan were pointing out, he didn't take the water out of the eggplant first. So if you cook with eggplant, first and foremost, once you slice it, you sprinkle it with some salt to draw out the moisture, because there's a lot of water in eggplants naturally. So you have to sprinkle with salt, let the moisture kind of rise. You can dab it with a napkin, and then you can proceed forward. He did not do that, and he added it right to his sauce, which, when you saw the sauce at the end, it was a little watery. And Chef Chohan did mention the fact it was watery, because me and Corgan were kind of like, ooh, that looks a little watery. They said that the flavors were there, though, which is good.
Yeah.
But I know we like a little thicker sauce, So, yeah. Anywho, on to Chef Tiana. So, first of all, I love Chef Tiana because when she said her name, I automatically thought about Princess and the Frog. So I started singing Princess and the Frog because, come on, Chef Tiana, I was just like, yes, I'm loving this correlation. And she made, I'm probably going to butcher this as well, a sweet potato pancit noodles. Either way, she was my favorite. I don't know what your favorite was for this round, the dish. But
it definitely was hers.
Yes.
Well, for me, I don't know about y'all, but for me, like, if I had to pick based off of if my eyes had a stomach, that was real goofy. That was real goofy. But anyway, if my eyes had a stomach, my eyes would have eaten up. I was going to say Princess Tiana.
First of all, before we even get into the other dishes, I think I loved the way she cooked, because I really enjoy international flavors. I like to eat from all different regions.
Yeah.
And she has Filipino and Black heritage. So she pulled in a lot of like the Asian elements that I really enjoy in food. So just the whole time I was just like, oh my gosh, if she don't win, I don't know what's going on. I think the judges really enjoyed her dish. I think it was maybe one critique. Do you remember that critique?
I really don't.
No.
Because, she was killing it.
Yeah. Chef Kat made a Thai curry noodle soup. So this is the chef we were talking about that did the zucchini noodles. And then also, in addition to the zucchini noodles, he did cucumber. So he did a zucchini and cucumber noodles. He didn't really do the cucumber like noodles. It was more so like just thinly sliced. And then he did a cooked sauce with the dish. I was a little concerned starting out because he didn't cook the zucchini noodles. And then he poured cooked sauce directly on top. Like I said, I've done this before, but my full intentions were this is a raw dish. I didn't have any intentions of cooking this dish. But he didn't cook the noodles, but then he poured cooked sauce on top. So I was like, I almost fell. So I was like, that's it. It didn't seem like the judges were a fan of him doing raw noodles with cooked sauce on top. So I think out of all of the ones we described, Chef Cat went home. It was the raw noodles. I mean, his dish sounded good. They said the flavors were there, but I don't think some people can get past the raw noodle. I think they said, we were wanting comfort food, you're giving fresh salad. They were like, if I eat this dish, I'm going to feel good about myself. I was wanting comfort food, not a salad.
Yeah, it was a nice, he put it together nicely. Like I said, the skills with the zucchini, like it was nice, but that looked like a responsibility.
Oh my gosh. They said if we wanted salad, then you would have won. Yeah. And then before we get into the next, this outfit today is brought to you by Candy Apples because that's what I feel like I'm giving today.
I like candy apples.
Yeah. Round 2. So round 2, our next judge, he did not want anything with refined sugars or refined oil. And then of course also it has to be plant-based. But even though he didn't like that, his preferred comfort food before he went on this more strict eating regimen was deep fried foods. His comfort foods were deep fried foods. Yeah. So the challenge this round was give us a deep fried comfort feel. Chef Zeke made a deconstructed Israeli sabich. Yes, I think. Okay, so once again, she used eggplant. She thinly sliced the eggplant. She did draw the moisture out. And then she kind of stuffed something inside of it, rolled it. And then she sprinkled cornstarch on top. And put it in the air fryer. And
for the crunch.
Yeah. So Corey and I both immediately red flags. So if you cook with cornstarch, you know, one, you have to be mindful of how much you put on there because you can easily have like a powdery outside, especially if you're not actually frying it with oil. So she sprinkled it with cornstarch. She didn't coat the whole thing with cornstarch. She just sprinkled it on the top, and it was kind of a thick layer. And immediately I was like, that's probably going to come out powdery because it's in the air fryer, not oil.
And to give you like a good visual, like think of like a funnel cake with powdered sugar on top. That's the sprinkle that she gave. And I'm like, you know what? She the pro.
Chef Tiana. Well, I don't know about you, but it was also my favorite for this round.
Definitely my favorite.
So, first of all, she was already my favorite when I heard what she was making. Chef Tiana made fried lumpia with sweet and sour sauce. So first of all, I absolutely love lumpia. My mom has been making lumpia for me and my family since I can't even remember how young. She's been making lumpia for a long time. And of course, when we started out...
And it's good.
Yes, when we started out making lumpia, I believe we still may have eaten some pork at the time. Once we changed our diet to plant-based, it switched to like maybe meat crumbles or grounds. And now it's kind of evolved to where it's still meat grounds and maybe just carrots, a combination of things. But either way, I love lumpia. Give me all the sweet and sour sauce. So when she said that, I was like, I was so excited.
We knew that was going to be good.
Yes. So before she even made it, I was like, ooh, that's going to be my favorite. The concern from Chef Chohan was when she was making the dish, she cooked the filling, which was the carrots and everything, and then she put it in the wonton wrappers, which would kind of already start steaming the wonton wrappers, which in turn, she was concerned would not give it a crunch. So she did go ask her, you know, how do you plan on giving us the crunch? And I guess she was just like, you know, we're just going to go for it. She said, you're not going to put anything on it before you get put in the air fryer? She was like, no.
Which you really couldn't because she couldn't use oil. So.
Right. Hers did come out nice and brown, but they were saying that with her cooking the filling, it didn't get as crunchy. But everyone was saying that the flavors were great. The guest judge, he said that her sweet and sour sauce, which she made fresh, tasted a lot like the sweet and sour sauce that he grew up with in the bottle, and it was absolutely amazing. So I'm probably gonna have to make some lumpia soon, okay?
Today.
Anywho, on to Chef Arturo. So Chef Arturo, he made air fried pizza with veggie chips.
Pizza. He told us pizza.
He told us pizza, yes. So I think our first thoughts when he was putting in the air fryer, I think our first thoughts and Tab's thoughts, what she said, was we were thinking more like a pizza roll because he started out making fresh dough. So I'm like, oh yeah, he's making fresh dough. So we're thinking maybe he's going like the pizza roll route. So I would love to have a vegan pizza roll. Like, I think they actually do have some, but I love pizza rolls. So that's what we were thinking. Instead, he made fresh dough, he cut it up, and he just plopped it in the air fryer. And then he cut up and breaded veggies. Was it breadcrumbs or panko breadcrumbs? I'm not sure. Some type of breadcrumbs.
Yeah, probably panko, maybe.
Yeah, and then he popped them in the oven. He did have an issue with burning. Thankfully, it burned his paper that he was cooking on, his parchment paper, and not the actual veggies.
Yeah.
But with the veggies, he did do sriracha mayo, which that sounded very good.
Really good.
And looked good, too.
Mushrooms look good, too.
Yeah. But with the pizza, the air fried pizza, he just had like kind of like the fried bits of dough, which kind of give you like tiny breadsticks. Yeah, tiny breadsticks. But then he just kind of put some tomato sauce on top.
It looked like a tomato.
And then a little bit of basil, or basil as some people call it. And that was the pizza. So everyone was kind of like, this is not what we were expecting when we heard pizza.
Tab straight out was like, hey, I was thinking basically, she didn't say Corrigan and Audrey. She can, but you know, she was thinking what we were thinking. Like, nothing less than at least a flatbread type of vibe.
Right, which is what I was kind of thinking.
Yeah, and it literally was like tiny like breadsticks that you can buy from like the store. And like chopped up like kind of tomatoes. Like it was like a fresh, non-comfort food dish. Maybe the mushroom and the sauce was more on the comfort food side.
Yes.
But that seemed like more on the lighter side, I guess you will, or whatever. So I mean, now if it's something I would try it. Like it definitely looked good. But as far as the vibe, it was two different things.
Yes, but he was the only one to successfully give the crunch factor that the judge was kind of searching for. But they also couldn't get past the fact that he basically gave them breadsticks with some sauce on it, and they were thinking pizza. And this is like, they were like, we wanted some deep fried or some, we wanted some fried pizza. Poor thing, after he finished, he went to the others. He said, I'm going home.
Yeah.
And like, he did.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, they didn't like it and going home.
Yeah.
He had good spirit, everything like that. Like he tried, his stuff was creative. But it seemed like just the gadgets wasn't working well with him because like the air fryer, he was trying to figure that out.
He never used it. He didn't know how to work the oven.
Yeah, the oven.
He didn't use a rice spiralizer for his.
Yeah, so gadgets wasn't on this side, and as we all know, working anything especially when technology and gadgets are now on our side, it can just throw off the whole plan. So, but he tried his best.
Yeah, yeah. He did good. He fought a valiant fight. So the final round, this round, they brought back both of the judges, like we said last time. So they had all of the specifications in one round. So this round was midnight snacks. So Tab said the theme is to think indulgent, think I'm having my little naughty, midnight
stuff you ain't supposed to be having, but you're going to have it anyway.
Right.
Because you're grown, or you might be a kid. Who knows?
Right. So that's what you should keep in mind for this one. So, of course, plant-based, no refined oil, no refined sugar, and now also gluten-free. because the other judge came back.
Yeah.
So, Chef Ziki, first of all, I would like to compliment her because I loved the international flavors also that she brought. She brought a lot of the foods that she would have normally eaten growing up or in her culture. And I love when people bring those type of flavors because that's the type of stuff I love. She made a baba ganoush. She made from charred eggplant, but she included the skin. So she called it a charcoal. Is that what it's charcoal eggplant baba ganoush? And then she also made a chickpea hummus or hummus. Oh, she made a tzatziki.
Tzatziki sauce.
She made tzatziki dip, tzatziki sauce.
Yeah.
So
Dip in sauce.
First of all, I would like to also say that Chef Ziki, her presentation was my favorite throughout the show. I think out of both episodes, she's had top presentation. Her plates are beautiful, very pleasing to the eye. Hers have been my favorite. The judges loved the tzatziki dip.
The chips.
Yes, the chips. I may have done the chips a little different. Maybe. I probably would have maybe done potato, maybe some sweet potato. Maybe even some zucchini fries, you know, like, I don't know. I would have possibly just gone a different way. She did do Brussels sprouts. What else did she do?
And she did, I think one of them was kind of like a potato.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the Brussels sprouts probably would have been good, though. I'm sleeping on the Brussels sprouts, but I love a crispy Brussels sprout, so I probably would have enjoyed it.
Yeah, think of like kind of like the peel of a healthy peel of a Brussels sprout. Or I guess one of the layers, not a peel.
Yeah.
Of a Brussels sprout.
The outside that gets more crispy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. I would try it.
Yes. The judges were saying, I would have tried all of them, but the judges were saying when I think midnight snack, I don't think to go grab 3 different dips and some veggie chips. You know, I'm thinking like I want something like, ooh, you know.
Heavy.
Yeah. And Chef Tiana, she made, I'm not going to try to pronounce the whole thing because I'm out for the count. But I'm going to just try to say this part. Gulaman pudding, which she explained it like a tapioca pudding.
Yeah.
And I loved her flavor combinations. I don't know if I've ever had a tapioca pudding per se. I may have. But I do like a good, like a chia pudding. Like I said, I love her flavor combination. She did cinnamon. She did Chinese spice. She did cardamom. And when she was talking, I was just like, oh, I just know that's going to be so good. And just the whole dish sounded so good. Tab did say while she was cooking, she didn't say ahead of time or she didn't stop her, but she did say after she presented the dish, like, FYI, I don't like bananas. And so it kind of was already like, ooh, you know, she doesn't like bananas. That may not be good. But when Tab tasted it, she said, I don't like bananas. I don't eat bananas. But I don't taste any banana that I don't like in this dish. Yeah. So that was a big thing.
I think that's the funny thing that I think like people automatically assume that you like all of the veggies and fruits. And I know definitely for me, that's definitely not the case. So yeah,
we talked about what we would not what would be our holdups. I said, as I told you all last time, please do not put any corn that's not on the cob in my food, and then also no raw onion or raw bell peppers. That's my thing. And I think
the last part, I can do corn. I barely eat corn, but I can do corn any type of way. So,
but no raw onions or bell peppers for him either. So we don't do raw onions and bell peppers around here. So if you see any of my...
Don't even do cooked bell peppers around.
So if you see any of my recipes, that's why I always cook the onion down. So now you know. So who do you all think won this round? Drum roll. Chef Tiana!
Tiana.
Princess Tiana.
Princess Tiana.
She was my favorite overall, honestly. I think she was the most solid throughout the whole entire episode.
Definitely.
Every dish she did was my favorite, which was the first because last episode it varied. I think each chef had a different dish that I would have preferred.
Yeah.
But she was my favorite for every single round. She took the prize for me.
Tiana, let us know if you want us to try anything. You know, we only a DM away.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Thank you for watching this recap of It's CompliPlated with Corgan and I. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you continue to watch because we will still be reviewing. Please show support for Tabitha's show because if we don't show we're interested in these things, they won't keep giving them to us. So if you like this type of thing, if you want to keep up with these type of things, you have to support. So please watch these reviews, but also please go watch It's CompliPlated. We want you to experience it for yourself and see all the good and fun things we're talking about. Also, of course, please like, subscribe, and share. And we look forward to talking to you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Peace.